I'm going to answer this like it's just you and me talking. Because honestly, these are the things that most of us keep tucked up close to the vest. Whispers you only offer in late night conversations with someone who feels safe. But shedding the shame in my game, and if I'm going to share this story with the world, I want to tell it like I'd tell you, because you've been such a beautifully supportive friend. So, here's the whole truth and the way I lived it. So, at first, I didn't know it was Michael. I didn't have that name. All I knew was that there was a presence, a guardian feeling that was with me. I just thought it was one of my guides. The way that my intuitive hits come through, what some people would call psychic abilities, for me, it's like this highlighter sensation. My spidey senses ping. I get this feeling that something just got underlined by heaven. Sometimes it's a phrase in a commercial. Sometimes it's a random pin on Pinterest, or something that someone says in passing. And I feel this inner nudge, like that's the message. And usually it repeats at least 3 times, and that's how I know. That's when I feel convicted. So one night, I'm deep in it, my training grounds, TV on, journal out, pen in hand, ready to receive messages. I'm in my zone, what I used to call my channeling space, gardening, high vibes, ready to receive. Now, mind you, at this time, I hadn't been convicted about Leviticus 19:31 yet. I hadn't understood that I wasn't meant to seek the spirits of the dead. So there I am, watching a movie, scrolling Pinterest, reading scripture, a plethora of sensory input. And I'm writing down what I'm receiving. And suddenly, Arnold Schwarzenegger slides into the driver's seat of a semi-truck on screen. I can't remember what movie it was. And he says in that thick Arnold voice, "Move over. I'm driving now." It's a good impression, right? So I panicked. My spirit interpreted that as possession, like I was about to be hijacked. I felt it coming in the room, like something foreign, uninvited, and commanding. I collapsed onto the couch in a terrified, sobbing heap, just completely overwhelmed by my assignment, by the noise and the signs and the syncs and the incessant swirl of messages and energies. Accepting this gift of discernment was difficult, and I couldn't hold it anymore. And then, in the midst of my panic attack, something shifted. It was like the Arnold energy got kicked out, and in came this warmth, a peace that blanketed the room like velvet. It's a mothering presence. It's gentle and protective and familiar. I felt like I was being swaddled by spirit, like I had been scooped up into a holy bosom and rocked by a comfort I didn't know I was allowed to receive. It was tender and calm. It was entirely other. And in that moment, I opened my eyes and looked up at the TV. I had switched the channel to a music station as I was trying to escape the chaos when the driver thing happened. And now on the screen, clear as day, was the name Mary, highlighted in my spirit. I can't remember for sure. I think it was a song by Mary J. Blige. It doesn't matter, because I knew. The comfort I felt in that moment wasn't vague. It was Mother Mary. So back to Michael. When the names started coming through, they came in a cluster. Michael, Daniel, David. And at first, I didn't think it was divine at all. Those were the names of my stepdad and his brothers. So I thought maybe I was picking up messages for them from a deceased loved one. But no message ever came, just the names. And I realized that I had asked specifically who was my guide, and that's when it started to click. Those names began to appear in scripture over and over. And then it hit me. Michael, the archangel, heaven's warrior, the guardian of the realms. David is the heart-led king, a man after God's own heart. And Daniel is the mind-led prophet, the one who stayed faithful in foreign lands. It wasn't a message from the dead. It was a pattern, a teaching, a map. I wasn't just being shown names. I was being shown a framework of heart and mind, of guardianship and kingship, of coherence. Michael was already teaching me the divine rhythm of head and heart alignment before I even knew what heart-brain coherence really meant. Before I knew what I was learning, he was already guiding the curriculum. So that's how I know. Not because I saw wings or heard trumpets, but because truth came dressed in patterns that pierced my discernment and echoed what my body already knew. Because spirit speaks in the language of resonance, and I've never forgotten the sound. So thank you for asking and for holding space and for listening past logic and leaning in with your heart. Not everyone asks these questions and not everyone dares to see the pattern beneath the chaos, but you did. And I want you to know your own discernment is divine. Your nudges matter. Your patterns are not random. So pay attention to what repeats, to what glows, to what gets highlighted in your spirit like a cosmic post-it note. That's not your imagination. That's your intuition. That's your inheritance. You don't have to name it perfectly to honor it faithfully. So lean in, ask, listen, follow the peace, and let your own knowing lead you to the one who already knows you. Because the same God who sent Michael to stand by me is still sending messengers. He's still circling the ones who are almost lost, still guiding the seekers with whispers of welcome home. And maybe you're not as far away as you thought. Be loved and be loved, beloved.